extreme winter recovery money paperwork has been sent out. Payment should be received in December. We're getting a little over $66,000 from CHIPS, a little over $15,000 from Pave New York, and a little over $12,000 from Extreme Winter Recovery. So total, the town will be getting a check, should be getting a check for $94,001.13. The budget only shows $66,000 as state money coming in. So I'm just asking that the budget get amended however you guys gotta do to that. And if you could put that $28,000 back in the highway fund. 'Cause technically it's supposed to go to paving and, but since it's so close to the end of the year, it's gonna, it's kind of a, we don't need it anyways. Extreme winter recovery.
You said it was, chips was 66,000 or?
Yeah, 66, 21902 to be exact.
219.2.
Pave New York is 15,115.15. And extreme winter recovery is 12,666.96.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you have any paperwork associated?
What's
Did
that?
they give you any paperwork?
I just got, all I've got is the paper that comes from the state that tells how much money we're getting. And I filled out all the paperwork online and mailed it out.
All right, will you just get a copy to Kelly?
Yep,
And she'll draft the resolution to amend the
Okay.
budget.
okay.
And we can do it.
I thought I had one, I
We
must
can
have
vote
left it
on it
somewhere.
next month at least.
I thought I had it with me, but I must have left it somewhere.
The chips is 66, what?
Chips was 66, 21902.
And so I know that the chips has, very specific, you can only use it for certain things. What about the other two?
They're very specific too. The paved New York has to be used for pavement,
Yeah.
for paving. And the extreme winter recovery is to do with damage that may have been caused by the winter. And any way you see fit to use it, really.
So-
There's guidelines, there's certain categories you put in. I used it all for, I used almost all the chips for Suits Road, because that cost us $63,000 to pave.
Yeah, so that's done.
So there was $1,700 left over, so I used $1,700 of CHIPS money, all the paved New York, and all the extreme winter recovery money towards paving Wagner's Hollow Road. So we'll have zero rollover, so if they end the programs next year, we get all the money. If we roll it over and they end the program, we don't get it.
We can lose it.
Art, is this part of the $124,000?
66,000 of it was.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, the town's getting $28,001.13 more than we had anticipated this year from the.
Oh, you're just asking that we put that in this line?
I just,
Just make sure, and it's already gonna be spent.
yeah, well, it's already spent, we
Okay.
already paid.
Right,
All right.
In order to get this money, you have to spend the money,
right.
Right, okay.
so we did that. I have to send copies of canceled checks and vouchers and all kinds of paperwork with it to prove that we've already spent the money.
So Art, the 28 is part of the 124.
No, the
No.
28 is totally separate.
Okay, but you estimated to us 124 when we did all those roads, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and we had 125,000 in the budget.
I understand, but I'm just trying to figure out, is this payback or is this, are we paying ourselves back for the 124 that
No.
we put in?
At budget time, you guys put 125,000 in paving, 66,000 of which was coming from CHIPS.
Okay,
So town taxpayers put in essentially the other $60,000,
okay.
okay? So now, the state says, well, we're gonna give you a total of 94,000 this year. We only anticipated on 66, so the town taxpayers are getting $28,000 back.
Okay, so we could actually use that next year towards whatever, right?
If you put it, well, the way the budget works, if you put it back in highway now and there's money left at the end of the year, it gets rolled over anyways.
Right, but
Right
I
back
mean,
into the
so-
highway, correct, Art?
Yeah, so if you put it back in the highway, it just makes my budget look better, that it's not costing so much money next year.
but it's allocated, did we allocate it now for paving for next year?
No,
or
no,
just
it's already spent, that
Okay.
money's,
It's already gone.
that money's already
Okay,
gone.
I'm just asking.
It's just, it's $28,000 that's coming back to the town that we did not anticipate
Did
getting.
anticipate, okay.
Will you just reach out to Kelly about that?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
you.
else for highway?
Just a couple things.
Yeah.
I met with our insurance company loss control specialist, He come to town barn, asked lots of questions. He inspected the highway garage and gave suggestions. One of the things he said is there's a new law, you have to have carbon dioxide detectors in the cabin areas. So he said one had to be in here, which there's one there, and I had to put one in our break room and one in my office.
Great,
So,
thank you.
no big deal.
Okay, whatever we need.
The other thing he suggested was flashback arresters and the torch hoses, which is no big deal, they've already been bought and installed. And he asked if we had the fire alarm inspected annually, and I told him, no. He said, well, we'd like to see you have it inspected annually. I said, are you gonna pay for it? And he, of course, laughed. But it was on my list to get it checked out, and I did have it inspected. They replaced the backup batteries in case the power goes out, it's got backup batteries.
Right.
And there's a dialer in there that was bad, so they've both been fixed. I haven't got the bill on fixing it yet, but the fire alarm should be working perfect if something happens.
Is that just fire, or do we have,
It's strictly fire. There are heat detectors in that building.
right,
Okay, all right.
Right, because the
Because
diesel could send us.
Smoke from the trucks.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Good deal.
So once the temperature rises so high in the building, then the detectors go off.
It triggers that.
Okay.
Do you feel that'll satisfy what their requirement is? We're gonna be okay with it
Oh,
at
yeah.
this point?
I mean,
I'm more worried, are you okay with the way the building is guarded? You
Yeah.
need anything else, or, okay?
Yeah,
the
you need
dialer,
anything
the
on
dial,
it?
as it's set up right now, the dialer dials 911 and it calls me at the same time.
Okay, as long as you're
So
satisfied.
just, so, you know, if there's a call, I mean, I get a call on my cell phone that there's a problem at the town bar.
Okay, good. As long as you're satisfied that we're doing the most we can to protect that building.
All right, and the last thing I got under highway is Rodney from the village approached me a couple weeks ago and said, in lieu of you guys paving the parking lot, the village wishes to replace the water shut-off valve out here. Right, nothing was said about this until a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And he suggested, the problem the valve is bad, he believes is because the water line freezes. And they hook on the valve and they hook in here to follow the water line. So Rodney suggested, if the board is interested, he will work in conjunction with the highway guys. We'll dig up the water line to the edge of the building, try to get it deeper, or insulate it to try protecting it from freezing. If not, they're still gonna go ahead and replace their water valve anyways, but that's not gonna stop any
That
pipe
won't
freezing.
stop our problem.
Yeah,
So-
we melted the curb, I guess the contractor melted the curb box.
It's very
The
easily
seat
done
of the
when you
curb
do it.
box.
Something in the shut-off valve.
It's
on the
very
sidewalk.
easily done when you
Right, but.
thaw the water that way. I mean, it's not the contractor's fault. I've seen this happen
Oh, it's easy to thaw water that
multiple
way, yeah.
times.
So we would need a motion to work
So
with
if
Palatine
you guys,
Bridge.
if you guys are interested in replacing the copper pipe from the shut-off valve to the building, Rodney got us a couple prices on copper tubing. Depending on the size, it could be $350 or $450 just for copper tubing. And of course, you'd have to add in whatever kind of insulation you want to put around it, whatever.
Okay, so we don't need it's covered in the budget, it's not a large enough dollar amount to need a special resolution for this. But because it's additional work that the Village of Palatine Bridge and you would be doing, we should probably just do a motion that says, move ahead with
Well,
the
you know,
pipe. And you
we're-
guys are fine to do
If,
that?
if we don't, if we do it, we're gonna use the village's machine, the village's backhoe,
Okay.
because it's smaller than our machine.
Yep.
But if the board decides not to change the water line, then they're gonna hire a truck to come in and suck a hole straight down the valve, just that one spot, fix the valve, and your water line's gonna stay the way
Rodney
it
said,
is.
right, Rodney said if we changed the line, he would bring the backhoe and wouldn't charge us for the backhoe.
Right, that's what he said, so,
I have spoken to Rodney.
That's
as
like a
well,
no-brainer for us.
And I think,
the only thing is, you know, it's gonna tear the driveway up for a little while, and, you know, this time of year, blacktop plants are closing, so you're
yeah,
not
they're
gonna
closed,
put
so.
cold patch back in for the
Where
winter.
exactly?
What's that?
Where exactly
Where exactly what?
is it gonna be torn up?
Looks like to me it comes in the building, under the building somewhere, about right here, because it comes up in the corner behind Neil.
Yeah.
Okay,
from
So,
where
I mean, you
to
can
where?
only replace it to the edge of the building.
that's all you can do.
But where is it going to and from?
It goes from the sidewalk out in the middle of the driveway
Yeah,
to the building, about 83 feet, I think Rodney said.
so worst comes to worst, people would have to drive around back
Well, we
here.
could call-
Well, it would be done probably in a day. It's
One,
not a-
yeah, one day or so. You know, if we can get it deeper, I think we should. Plus
you
insulate it
know,
as
I don't
well
know if it's on solid rock, or if it's just down so far and they didn't go no deeper, I don't know, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
you have no way of knowing.
It's,
To get there.
it would be a wise way to fix the problems that we're having, because then we wouldn't have to leave the water running, so it wouldn't freeze,
Plus
and then
freezing.
the septic
sewer.
pipe wouldn't, sewer pipe wouldn't freeze, and then we'd be fixed, you know? And we can put rigid insulation over the pipe when they rebury it. 3
Whatever
inches
they
of-
would recommend.
Yeah,
Always sits on a rock.
I'm not a plumber or so forth, so
Rodney was saying 3 inches of
Everything
rigid.
else.
or whatever Rodney recommends.
Probably why it's not
Anything
big.
else?
That's all I got on highway.
All right, the two, so then I know there was discussion, about this at the last meeting and some numbers were proposed for the 2 trucks. One, the pickup,
Yeah, I gave them last meeting.
and this was tabled, they weren't approved last month.
We tabled it until we put together the budget.
Right.
Well, this would be for this year, no?
Yeah, he was speaking of ordering new ones, and
Two
instead of
trucks.
17s, we would get 18s, as already discussed.
But
Well, anyway, your number is,
You have the numbers?
yeah,
Alright, for the,
Carbone, I got them right here.
for the crew cab pickup would be 38,954. Less a trade-in if you want to trade in, of 14,000. Or you can sell the old truck outright.
minus 4K?
If we trade the current.
14?
14,000, if we trade in what we got.
Really? You didn't get 14 for that?
Well, truck and a plow, 14,000. But they're-
The truck with the plow.
Right.
Okay, right,
What's your
right.
recommendation, how to handle that, Art?
It's a crapshoot. I mean, if you knew how long it was gonna take to get the new truck, you could try selling this one outright before then.
Okay.
And if it brings more than 14,000, you sell it. If it don't bring more than 14,000,
trade it.
You trade it in.
Can we look at it, how long would it take to be ordered, do you think?
I have no idea.
You haven't, okay. you
Never
haven't
never even talked
Alright.
about it.
Okay.
So that's the crew cab.
That's who had. And 1 ton, 58,673. And if we trade in the old one, they'd give us 13,000. Which I think that one's worth more than $13,000.
yeah, we're getting the same price for the 1 ton as we're getting for
Yeah,
the 3/4 ton.
That's
For the
less.
water.
Less.
Less,
yeah.
now, 1,000 less.
So you think you could sell it? from
I'm pretty sure we can get more than 13,000 for that truck.
And that you would just do on the auction site?
But, yeah, I'd probably try it through Options International. And it would, what you would do is if you're gonna sell them that way, have them end right before the board meeting.
Yep.
And then I could even bring the numbers to the board and say, okay, if it brings 10,000, well, we're not selling it. But if it brought 15,000.
15's gone.
Sell it.
And Art, you got bids from Carbone, but is there anybody in our county that we can get these trucks from?
Not on a piggyback.
Do you know what your budget line is right now for, your equipment? Yeah.
0.
Oh, that's right, it was 0. So we have to, so,
Let's move some money.
okay. All right.
The only thing I'm gonna say though, is since I gave you guys these quotes, I looked at a truck with the exact body onto it, that's on this price sheet, that's priced. I don't like the body, it's too wide for the truck. Can't see out the mirrors good.
That's up to you.
So, if you guys decide to buy a pickup, I'd like to pursue a different body, still stainless, but as long as it's less than that dollar amount.
You mean the 1 ton, you don't want a 9-foot?
I don't want a 8-foot wide body on it.
8-foot wide body, you want a,
Okay.
Chevrolet runs a narrower wheel stance, so you can run a little bit narrower body.
Okay.
This price is for an airflow, and I actually looked at one about a week and a half ago, and it's really wide. Even if you slide the mirrors out, it's still really wide, tough to see behind, and these guys back up as much as they go forward in the
is that
villages.
Rodney said he's having problems with the new truck because of the body. Is that the
Same
deal?
situation he's got with his new one.
I think
They
we-
make the bodies to fit 3500s, 4500s, 5500s, it's one body.
Oh,
So because it is, the bigger trucks, it's not such a big deal, but on the little
How
trucks,
much is the difference? Do you-
I don't know, I have
If you
to,
could, like, so if we approve it tonight, how much should we approve it for?
Well, as of right now, it's 58,673. I would just say if it's less than 60,000 with a different body onto it, $1,200 more, but I wouldn't say it's gonna be less, it's gonna be a smaller body,
Okay.
but it may be custom built. I know Smith & Smith Stainless builds custom dump boxes,
Okay.
so.
I mean, we don't need to get into the exact truck that you buy.
Right.
What's the amount that matters?
Say 60,000, all right?
I would say, and that's just shooting from the hip.
Okay.
Okay. Do you happen to know the budget line offhand for equipment?
5130.2.
You've been doing this for a while. All right, so that comes out to about right? 98,954. That'd be 100,000 in purchases.
And Sarah, you weren't here, the price of the 3/4 ton pickup truck, the 2008 that's out here, we went to sealed bid for that one when we bought that one. That
Mhm.
truck was $33,000 in 2008.
Yeah, so you're getting 14 back now.
So but what I'm saying is the price of the truck right now without a plow on it's $33,204. It's only $204 more than we paid 10 years ago. That's because of the piggyback and the aggressiveness of these dealers to get vehicles to the municipalities. I wish I could buy a truck for that.
Yeah.
So it's a given that we would get the 14,000 for the trade-in.
Or sell it outright, whichever is gonna work out better
For the
for
crew
us.
cab. And then the 13,000, so it's really, and we wouldn't have to have the funding available for the crew cab because you could trade it. Like, we don't need to make 38,954 available, we really need to make that minus 14 available, right?
24,954.
Essentially, it'd be 25,000 upgrade.
Yeah.
But we would need the full 60 available for the other one in case,
Well, if you're gonna put one on the internet, I would put them both on the
Why
internet.
don't we run both,
all right.
just see what happens?
It doesn't cost
Just,
anything.
you
if
set a
don't sell
minimum,
them.
right?
Yeah, the board has final approval.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you don't have to put a minimum, just the board gets the right to reject it or
Okay.
accept
As long
it.
as we can do that.
The one we're selling, that's a diesel, right? The one we're selling?
The dump truck is, yeah.
Yeah. They've been going for like
3500 series.
15,000 or so.
That's what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure we can get more than that for it.
I think so too, but
So
it's
then,
worth a try.
if we were to make 73,000 available on the equipment line, that gets you the two trucks.
I would say.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Great, thank you.
I've got one question for Art.
Yeah.
Before we go forward. Art, back here with that AC condenser, is there a way we can put some metal posts there so that that cannot get hit by a vehicle or something for the AC right
Oh.
behind the building? Can that happen?
Probably, painting them, I don't have to dig it by hand. You didn't want to make them big holes. Or you put the big concrete blocks around it.
Something, just so it can't get hit and destroyed.
Do you have any of those arm coat, like a barrier that we can block one of those?
I got
big-
those 2x2x6 blocks.
Maybe that, somebody,
Just,
they punched that in, we're out like $1,000.
yeah, it's brand new. You know, I hate to see that happen to it. And I'm afraid it could very easily happen. It's the way it sets. If we could do something with that, it'd be greatly appreciated.
I'll take a look at it, see if it needs one or two. I got some at the highway garage. We can-
Perfect. Thank
That
you.
big blocks.
If they hit that block, they were gonna.
If they hit the
know it.
block, they'll know they've,
The blocks weigh about 3,300 pounds apiece.
they're not gonna move that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
They're
definitely
really
protect
moving.
that air conditioning condenser out there.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep,
Great, thanks, Artie.
no problem.
Cheryl?
Okay, this coming Monday, the 30th, I have my yearly inspection with Ag and Markets. Last month, I handled 4 dog complaints. I had 1 dog pickup. I handled 1 rabies case, which is completed and closed. I issued 6 appearance tickets, 1 for excessive parking and 5 for unlicensed dogs. And I issued 7 10-day notices for non-renewal and 1 for no license.
Great. And I called the Glen Animal Hospital, they just need the $500 and we're good, and they're
And a
all set?
contract.
Okay. Does she have a contract?
No,
that
she
wants us to
said
use?
that-
Use our contract.
The town of Florida, when they set theirs up with her, their lawyer took care of it.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Cheryl, I'm sorry, Cheryl, what is the name of the veterinarian down there, in case I get a call like I did a few months back?
Carolyn Ennis. Carolyn Ennis.
Thank you. Do you know if Fort Plain is gonna do the same thing or not?
Town of Minden already has taken care of it.
They already have, okay. That way, in case I got a call, let's say maybe Mr. Brownell is covering for you, I know what to tell him. That's the reason for that question.
Yeah,
Thank
I actually called I called Jim Brownell with all this information when I got it, because I knew they were in need also.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, just so I understood, the question arises. Thanks.
Thank you, Cheryl. Do we have a report from the assessor? Do you guys have a report?
Yeah. Would you like a copy, sir?
I got it. Any discussion on the assessment report? We have in front of us the code enforcement officer's report. Any discussion on that?
That's what I see.
Linda?
Nothing to report.
Planning board? Any-
The planning board has, we're in the middle of one subdivision, and, we sent the recommendation for the fee schedules, to all members of the board that we requested for the wind turbine for the commercial. Sent that as an email, and the comprehensive plan steering committee has met twice and is moving forward.
How have those meetings gone?
I wasn't at the last one. Linda, how have those meetings gone?
Productive, I think. You know, I mean, we're just trying to figure out what the vision is to start with and go from there and get together questions for the residents for the survey and how to execute those and, so it's gonna be time consuming, but I think we got really good people on that steering committee with good ideas and good input, so.
Good, and you're having good attendance?
Yes, I mean, it seems like when these people didn't make it to, these 4 didn't make it to the first meeting, they made it to the second meeting, and these 4 were absent, but one of these times we'll all come together, I'm sure, so. it'll
Any
work.
big issues that came up?
Not really, I mean, we're just, like I said, what's that?
Early days.
Yeah, nothing yet nothing yet that we really have to be concerned about. We're just taking, like I said, baby steps just to see that we all get on the same page as to what direction we feel we should go.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. Anything else from the planning board? Okay, Board of Ethics.
As far as the Board of Ethics, there's nothing really to report, except now we do have a new ethics law, which is
Proposed.
good.